I have some constituents who have an organization. They're very deeply concerned. They believe it's harmful for our youth and it's harmful for our society. I happen to agree with them. And so this is kind of a follow-up to a resolution I ran and passed in 2013. And based on some new research out of the United Kingdom and out of, I believe it's Cambridge, basically MRI scans of people who compulsively use pornography basically show similar changes and similar reactions as drug addicts. And so I think, you know, when people use drugs, when they use cigarettes today, they know that they're starting to use something that is very addictive. I don't know that people know that with pornography, and I think that in many instances we're like the 1950s of nicotine and tobacco today with pornography. In fact, when my resolution went public on Friday, I was attacked all weekend on Twitter by people saying it's not addictive and it's not harmful. Well, I personally believe it is, and I think the science shows it is, and I think that's a discussion that we should be having, because it's impacting divorces, it's impacting our youth, it's undermining the family, and I think it's illegal, just like tobacco and some drugs are, but it's also something that's dangerous, and I think we should be discussing it.
Do you, your resolution, what would it do? You want to declare it a public health crisis, which I think people kind of go, that's a little extreme.
It's a non-binding resolution, so it doesn't, I mean, in that sense, it doesn't do anything. It's not going to spend any money. It's not going to pass any new laws. I think more than anything, it should put the public and people on notice, on warning. The resolution also says that the average age of first exposure to pornography is now 11 years old, and I mean, that's alarming to me. And I think that you know, there's things I would like our nation to do, like in England, you have to opt into pornography on the internet. I would love for the United States to do that, but you know, I can't do that as a Utah State Senator. But I would love to lay the foundation for a national discussion on what we can do to protect people from this harmful substance that's undermining, I think, a lot of the pillars of our society.
Are you expecting a lot of pushback? I mean, you said you got quite a bit, you know, over the weekend, but I mean, are you expecting any kind of opposition, really, other than just people, you know, the Facebook commenters or people on Twitter?
You know, I've been surprised. I've been mocked internationally all weekend. I don't think I've ever been able to say that before. I was having Sunday dinner with my family yesterday, and a reporter from New York called me and asked if it was true that I was trying to outlaw masturbation in Utah, and I said no, and that's now in the New York Daily News today, that I'm not trying to do that. You know, there are publications. Apparently this is a joking topic, you know, all around the world, but I think it's a serious issue. I think, you know, when I was a kid, people might sneak a Playboy magazine and look at it. Now you've got all kinds of horrible graphic images that are available to anyone with an internet connection 1 or 2 clicks away. And to pretend like this isn't going to have an impact on our families and our culture and our society, I think is naive.
How far do you expect this will go? It's in rules right now, but does it go to a committee hearing? Does it, or does it go straight to the floor?
Yeah, it was assigned to Health and Human Services just now. It'll go to, I've talked to the chairman of the Senate Health and Human Services Committee. I believe it'll be first on the agenda Friday at 4 p.m.
Are you surprised at how much attention this has gotten?
I kind of am, because I've been doing this for 3 years now, and nothing else has gotten this kind of attention. I mean, it's in Time Magazine, Time Online right now, so, and I was on CNN this morning talking about it. So yeah, I am surprised, but this is exactly, I think, what the discussion that I had hoped for. And I was approached, by the way, by a national organization at the World Conference on Families last October to run this resolution. Everything in the resolution is supported by science and research. It's not just a kooky thing that some, you know, politician from Mormon, Utah came up with. It's bigger than that. So I think this is a discussion that we should be having nationally. So I'm glad that it's getting attention.
Leadership have a position on it?
I support it. I think it's already having an impact on our society. It isn't something we need to be concerned with going forward. I know of a number of marriages that have ended over pornography, and it's kind of a degradation to our society to have it so available. You know, we have to have it available on a First Amendment basis, but I like what England's doing. You ought to be able to opt in. We need to protect our children from this, and it's very difficult, you know, with all the different phones that they have and accesses to the internet.
You have a position on it?
I haven't read the document
SCR
yet, the resolution. I think I'm interested in taking a look at that because the science is out there on what's going on, but it's where is that definition? Where do you cross that line? So
I know it when I see it.
I support it. You're taking a poll.
There is a question that came in over text on this for Senator Weiler. Somebody wants to know if this is within your constitutional right to regulate this element of people's private lives, and they want to know how you would regulate it if you could, and do you feel confident in the support of other senators on this bill?
First of all, I don't think the resolution's regulating anybody's life. I respect the fact that pornography is legal for adults and that people have a right to do in their own bedrooms and in their homes what they want to do. I'm not trying to change that. More than anything, I think, like I already said, before you pick up a cigarette today, you know you may be acquiring an addiction. I'd like people to know that with pornography before they approach it. So that's number one. I'm not trying to regulate it, but if I could regulate it, I would probably do something like England has done and say that you should have to opt into pornography on the internet. So for the people that would like to avoid it, they don't have to have it kind of thrown in their face all the time.
Any other questions?
Just if he thinks he has the support of senators.
Oh, I haven't polled my fellow colleagues, and we've got so many bills coming out. This probably is catching a lot of people by surprise, and if so, I apologize for that. But I've got a lot of bills, and I didn't realize this one was going to generate so much discussion so quickly.
How many bills are we at